Hi Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus. This is Dane, and I am going to be doing your April 16th to the 30th, 2021 reading for you. Now I ask if this reading resonates with you, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and also to subscribe to my channel. And if you would like to be notified whenever I upload new videos, and I upload all the time, just hit the bell notification button. And if you're interested in any of the cards that I'm using, they will be listed and linked in the description box below. Now, before we begin this reading, let us clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration and releasing any negativity. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from the body like storm clouds. Letting yourself feel calm, centered, and at peace as we enter into this safe and loving space. All right. Let's let the bowl sing as we see what the tarot has to say. Scorpio. April 16th to the 30th, 2021, Scorpio. April 16th to the 30th, 2021, Scorpio. April 16th to the 30th, 2021, Scorpio. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels and spirit guides, angels. Fantastic. And then we're going to see the chakra energy that we have to work on, not work on, but this is going to be the place where things affect us a bit more. So we have to be a little bit sensitive, a little bit kind when it comes to this chakra, when it comes to the way that we're taking things in. So let's look here, Scorpio, April 16th to the 30th, 2021, Scorpio. April 16th to the 30th, 2021, Scorpio. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Fantastic. And then finally, the energy we need to be mindful of during this time. What is the energy that Scorpio needs to be mindful of? April 16th to the 30th, 2021, Scorpio. April 16th to the 30th, 2021, Scorpio. What is the energy that Scorpio needs to be mindful of? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Fantastic. Okay. Now the left-hand side is our inner self. The middle is our heart, our emotional self. The right-hand side, the public arena, the public self. So we're starting off with the High Priestess. This is a very introspective time for us. It is a very kind of quiet and private time. We have the Eight of Swords, so we can go really deep into things. Okay, the Ace of Swords and the Ace of Pentacles. Oh, that's really pretty. The one that can kind of muck things up during this time is the Eight of Swords, which can make us feel trapped and overwhelmed, and we get way too much in our own heads. So that's going to be the warning here. But because we have the High Priestess, there's a sense of knowledge and understanding, kind of being able to counterbalance that. We then have the Ten of Pentacles, so our hearts are crowned by wealth and prosperity and what we value as much as money coming in. We have the Seven of Pentacles. We have the Five of Pentacles. That's interesting. So we have wealth, and then we have patience. And then we have the pauper's mentality coming forward with the Five of Pentacles. So that we're going to have to be mindful of. And then we have the Knight of Swords. So we're definitely taking this gift of the air sign energy of the swords coming in. This is also, of course, air sign energy, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. So if you're born on the cusp with Libra, this is going to be rather intense. But there's a sense here of being able to defend and know what it is that we desire. Even if people kind of look at it and be like, what, that's what you do? Like, what, this, that's what you want from life? Like, and judge. We're going to be able to say, but this is who I am. Like, why would I change? The Eight of Wands. Now you have the repeat of the number 8, which makes perfect sense. During this time, we can be astoundingly serious, like to the point of rigidity. So that's going to be something we need to be mindful of. Then we have the 10 of Swords. The repeat of the number 10 shows the completion of a cycle here within thoughts, within prosperity. We have the 3 of Wands. So we're going to be able to have ourselves open up our horizon. There's a sense of not only us opening up our horizon, but something shifting, something changing, and it's like the door starts to open. And then it brings us to the 7 of Cups. Now the 7 of Cups is dreams and wishes. Now there is also the sense here with the repeat of the number 7. It's like things have to be honest. Now Scorpio, we don't like things being sneaky or dishonest to begin with. Even though we like to hold our cards kind of close to the chest, we will be honest and forthright. But there is a sense here of people being sneaky with us and then calling us out for being sneaky. So just knowing that is going to be very important, because it's kind of like, okay, I understand that people are going to be playing their games. And then if I confront them, they're going to say, what? I'm not playing any games. Look at what you're doing. And so they're going to kind of deflect. That's really what they're doing. They're deflecting to put the attention back on you, because you'll be like, oh, what am I doing wrong? How can I fix this? Or you'll just get mad and walk away. And that's exactly what they want. So just knowing that, especially in the public arena, okay, and it's going to be off of emotional manipulation, is going to be very important for the way that we move forward during this time. And there's a sense here that we want to expand, we want to become, and we can see that with the High Priestess and the 10 of Pentacles so beautifully, but that there's something holding us back at times, because the flight isn't always going to be as smooth as we want it to be. So just being mindful of that also. Now, the chakra energy for this time is personal power. This is the solar plexus chakra. We are determined, we are focused, but things might not be working out the way that we had expected. We might see that we're in a bit of a lull. We might, be looking at things and really kind of losing our footing, doubting our way forward, what we desire. So here, with this personal power, we are embracing what we want. We're looking towards our goals. But there is a sense with the solar plexus chakra, like we have to just be mindful. We have to be mindful of our solar plexus. We have to be mindful of our gut reactions to things. We're going to find that this is a time where we have to be sensitive with the food that we fuel ourselves with, because our gut will tell us rather quickly. It's like, oh no, I don't like that, or oh my goodness, I'm feeling kind of overwhelmed or shaky, like nerves are high. I can't eat that right now. So just being mindful of this is going to be really important. But also the sense of embracing our power and what we want, because there's going to be this bit of a push and pull during this time of, can I get to where I want to be? Do I know what I desire? Do I know how I want to open up that door? The answer is going to be, a part of us is going to say, yes, absolutely. And the other part is going to be absolutely terrified. So if we even have somebody who says something remotely negative to us, oh my goodness, it can feel like we've just been smacked in the face. So just being mindful of that is going to be so important. And then leads us to the energy that we need to be mindful of, which is the Prince of Pentacles, Earth sign energy, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. This is a person who's slowly and steadily building things. This is a person who's heading in a direction, and their direction and our direction doesn't really add up. They want their security, they want their prosperity their way, and we want our security and prosperity a different way. Or maybe we're not just thinking about these things right now. And they could be very important things to think about, to own, to claim. But there's a real sense here of needing to step back and say, okay, what is it that's important to me, that I lay the foundation, that I move forward in? Because we're going to find people here that are really good at guilting us, really good at kind of bullying us. But their foundation and our foundation aren't going to add up. This isn't going to be something logical, like, oh, well, pay off this and it'll be okay, or watch these bills and it'll be okay. And you're like, oh, okay, that makes sense. It's going to be something maybe a little bit more abstract. And we're like, oh, okay, but that's not right for me. That's not what I want to do. That's how you want to move forward. And that's what leads us to the High Priestess. The High Priestess during this time is this tremendous sense. I just cut off all my nails. There we go. The tremendous sense of being able to look at things more personally, more powerfully, more introspectively, more of stepping back and saying what's important. And this is this is important for us because so often in our world, and our world tells us, we're able to have it all and we're able to accomplish it all. And there's nothing that we cannot do. That's not necessarily true. And it kind of sets us up for feeling like failures at times because we think, well, I want, so therefore I should have. And again, that's not how our world works. So here with the High Priestess, we step back and we say, I am. And that's powerful. Divinity, God says, I am. And so we start echoing that. What am I? I am. And then we say, what am I? And the High Priestess, stepping back, looks inward and says, this is what I desire for my life. This is what's intrinsically important to me. This is how I move forward. This is the veil lifted from my eyes. This is me not looking at everybody's, chaos and everybody's, kind of grabbing and saying, but mindfully and thoughtfully, what do I want? Where do I want to be? And we're starting to see people more clearly. We're also starting to see situations and institutions more clearly, which can make us just feel absolutely rotten, which sounds like a terrible thing to say. But when we start to see things and when we start to realize that maybe everybody doesn't have the answer that we're searching for, maybe life is about questions and diving deeper and getting uncomfortable. And maybe we can't find the dream. That dream that we're sold by the media, by the world that says you can have it all. You can have absolutely everything that you have ever desired. And maybe we have to choose. And the Eight of Swords is the doubt and the fears and the anger and the upsets and the not developing the way that we want to in a certain area. But why does it have to be now? Why can't we step back and be kinder to ourselves? More compassionate, more honorable to our hearts, to who it is that we are. Because what the High Priestess is giving us during this time, even though we're going to be kind of looking at the self and turning inward and thinking, oh, well, there's a lot of work to be done here. Or, oh my goodness, I can't get to where I want to be. And it's going to make us think, I'm caged. It's over before it began. But what divinity is showing us here, what spirit is showing us, is that we have the Ace of Swords and the Ace of Pentacles. We have the beauty of mind, and we have the beauty of prosperity coming forward. The Ace of Swords, speaking about air sign energy, it's like the breath that fills our lungs. It's the breath that powers our voice. It is the way that we move forward, the knowledge that we're getting, and the way that we're redefining what we want. Divinity is giving us a gift. The universe is giving us a gift. And there's more here. There's more to this rat race than just what we can accumulate. It's like, how do we live? How do we love? Where do we want to be? What is it that we desire? The Ace of Swords is looking at this and taking this knowledge and having just a moment of clarity. It's like ringing the bell. And it's like a moment of clarity comes. And it's like, oh, that's it, isn't it? And once we see it, it can't be unseen. And that's what the High Priestess does. Once it is seen, we cannot turn away from it. We can, but we can. Yes, we can. So Spirit is saying, well, we always can turn away. We always have free choice. And it can be astoundingly uncomfortable to look, to see, to embrace, to be so determined. But the Eight of Swords is like, we see it. It starts to become clear. All of a sudden, we feel trapped and overwhelmed because what if that's the reality? Not that we're trapped, not that we're not going to be able to be where we want to be. Not the Eight of Swords is a reality, but the ever-deepening expanse of the High Priestess, the ever-deepening expanse of what we desire and what we want and who we are and what we need and the power of the inside and what we want to bring to a relationship and how we want our hearts to move forward. And it leads us, again, to this knowledge coming in, to this power of the voice, this power of the flexibility of mind, which starts to plant prosperity and bounty. Gifts come in that say, there is more here than you have realized. There is more to this than you could ever have known. I'm planting this gift inside of you. I'm planting this passion. I'm planting this determination. I'm planting this focus so that you can rise taller and better than before, more focused. And there's a sense of a gift coming in. We might not know what that gift is yet, but we're really starting to understand what we don't want. And that's what I think that's what I see from meditation, from journey, is that life is about knowing who we're not And then as we learn who we're not, we begin to learn, understand, and comprehend who we are. And this seed right here that is planted, this sense of prosperity, the sense of bounty, the sense of there is success here. It leads us to the 10 of Pentacles. It leads us to wealth that lasts for generations. And it's not that I get to have all this wealth and have my kids inherit it or whomever inherited. It's that this wealth, as I learn it, as I share it, as I develop it, goes out into the world. And it becomes greater and greater and greater. Within our hearts, we're starting to see what's important and what isn't, what we desire and what we don't. We can find that this is a time, and this is actually a fantastic time, if we wanted to start a business, if we had an idea of taking a risk on anything, right? Now's the time to go for it. Why? Because we have such beautiful gifts here. We do have tremendous self-doubt coming forward, so that's going to be something that we definitely have to battle, but we can see more clearly. Okay, we kind of call people out, maybe not out loud, but definitely in our minds on their bull, on their deceits, and we start moving forward towards our prosperity, towards what we desire. Our hearts long for the richness, long for the development. And what happens is that we have the 7 of Pentacles coming in, and that's saying patient. Be patient, because as this is developing, as we are embracing this, there's a sense of needing it to grow, needing it to become. There's also wisdom with the 10 of Pentacles. So in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, it is the old man sitting, watching the young couple talk, watching the child trying to break away, looking at the dogs. It's only the dog and the child that are looking at the older man. So there is the sense here that when we're in our world, okay, and when we're in the hustle and bustle of it, we do not see what is so valuable and what is so important to be seen. And this is a time where our hearts start to say, isn't this what you want to focus on? Like, isn't this what's important? And we'll get called back. We'll get called to something, all right, by divinity, by spirit, through our hearts. We can feel it within our heart chakra. And it's like, well, isn't this where the answer lies? Now, we can go against it, most definitely. But if we listen, there's a seed planted, and it's like, there gets to be richness here. The 7 of Pentacles, it's like there gets to be prosperity, there gets to be abundance, but we have to be patient. We have to wait for it to develop and to become. And the thing is that as we're waiting for it to develop, and as we're waiting for it to become what we so long for, it's the crow here waiting for the eggs to hatch. You can't force it. You can't just go and crack the egg open and be like, okay, you're born now. It's not how it works. So we're waiting for things to incubate, to develop. It's divine timing, not our timing, which is so annoying. But then it leads us to the 5 of Pentacles. As we're waiting, as we're developing, okay, as we're growing this, all of a sudden we're going to start to realize a lot of the crap that we carry. And excuse my language, but it's just true. The 5 of Pentacles is the pauper's mentality. Now, you could be one of the people that, like me, were raised with a lot of trauma around money. You could have somebody who hoarded it over everybody in the house and was like, this is my power. And so you knew money is power, but you also knew that you didn't have any. There's a sense here with the 5 of Pentacles of looking at a lot of the hurts, a lot of the disappointments, a lot of the trauma that we have around money, because it's such a powerful thing in our world. It's what we judge people's worth on. It's the currency of prestige. It's a currency of existence. And the 5 of Pentacles is like, okay, but where are my scars with this? Now, if you don't have any scars with this and you're thinking, Dane, what the heck are you saying? That's awesome. You are so beyond blessed. But if you do have scars with this, from childhood, from relationship, from losing a job, there's a lot of baggage that we put on money. And there's a lot of self-worth that we put on money. And with the 5 of Pentacles, it's looking at it and being like, okay, I see this. And it can be being forced to see something that we don't want to see. It's like, wow, I thought I was so over this. I thought I had moved on, but it still comes. And the thing with scars, and it's kind of like breaking a bone, right? So when we have a spiritual scar, or we have a mental scar within our world, it's like we've broken a bone. And sometimes that bone just acts up. When it's going to rain, you'll be like, oh, my ankle really hurts, or man, my finger's catching, that type of thing. So here with the Five of Pentacles, once we become aware that we're on the outside of wealth, okay, once we become aware that we're not moving forward the way that we want to, we can start to see and feel the twinges that hold us back, that deny us, that keep us from moving forward the way that we want to. And then that's when we become this kick-ass warrior that says, that's it, I'm going after it. I'm going after what I want. The Knight of Swords is like, it's my time. And if I do not seize it, when the heck will I? The Knight of Swords can be rash, it can be absolutely rash, can charge off without thinking. So we always have to make sure that we're grounding ourselves emotionally, prosperously, personally. And the Knight of Swords is like, okay, I get to go after what I want. I get to slay the demons that are holding me back, the doubts, the fears, the angers, the upsets, the sense that I would never get to be enough. And now I get to embody and be emboldened by the power that is me, by what I desire, by how I want to move forward. I start to know, and I start to fight. I start to see what needs to be done, and I free myself because of it. And all of a sudden we are this warrior of the truth that we are embracing, the way that we are embracing the power of our voice, what we want within the world. It's not only just saying like, this is my ideal job, I'm going to go out and get it, and anything else will fall short, or this is my ideal partner, and I'm going to go out and get that exact person. If they don't meet everything, it's not going to be right. It's like, no. This is saying here, I'm fighting for my happiness within this world, for the way that I want to move forward. It's also understanding that sometimes there are battles that just are. Sometimes there are things that we can't stop and we can't change. And being a part of this world is intense and it's beautiful and it's terrifying. But I'm moving forward in it. It's not giving up on ourselves. But it's also not making the world completely about us. It is saying, I get to be part of something more, a community, like the community here, or I get to be part of the community in the town that I live in, the city that I live in. I get to be part of something more. I get to have something more within my life. And I have the right to stand up for this, to fight for this, to see my worth, to see what I desire, to be fierce. And then the Eight of Swords is us moving forward in the public arena. It's like, okay, traversing this plane is harder than I thought. Moving forward towards what I want, towards what I desire, trips me up. It makes me doubt. It doesn't give that straight flight because the arrows here aren't flying straight. Now, in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, yes, they are flying straight. And whether they're flying up or flying down, they are all heading in the same direction. So it's like things are taking off. And as things are taking off, though, during this time, we start to feel a little bit more confused, a little bit more anxious, a sense of, again, it's going to be really easy to get in our own heads way too much, to overthink it, to overanalyze it, to say, okay, well, I just need everything planned out. I just need to see absolutely everything. And then by the time we have all the information, the opportunity might be gone. So it's not saying to be rash, because with the Knight of Swords rooting us in our heart, we can be very rash. We can be like, okay, just go for it. But sometimes we do need to embrace that. There's going to be the sense here of balance that is so important. And with that beautiful Scorpio kind of stepping back and looking and seeing and understanding the shadows behind things, that's going to be really quite important and really quite helpful. It leads us into the Ten of Swords. So we have this kind of world that we're traversing, this way that we want to move forward. The Ten of Swords is the sense of, okay, shit has happened. Life has gotten intense. I don't know where it is that I want to be all the time. I don't know what it is that I desire. And now I'm looking at the way that I want to move forward. I'm looking at the darkness before the dawn. I'm looking at the best laid plans have fallen apart. There's doubt and there's fear and there's anger and there's upset and there's everything in between. But now it's time for me to rise. Again, this is the darkness after the dawn, before the dawn. This is the minor arcana death card. So this is you, Scorpio, in the minor arcana. This is a sense of, where do I go from here? How do I move forward? I'm not the same person I was. And at times, it's a blessing. It feels like a curse. It does, to say I have changed. But there's a blessing in that power, in that understanding, in that sense of, I'm not the same person I was. I'm wiser. Swords of medieval times, they're a fortune. They're just a fortune of craftsmanship, of wealth, of power. Only nobility was able to hold a sword. And in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, we have a person laying on the ground with 10 swords in them. It's overkill. In medieval times, okay, or in even relatively recent times, people would go to the battlefield and they would take the weapons that were there. I mean, even now I believe that is done. After everything cools, the weapons are taken back. Okay? So here, there is this sense of, why was this left? Because this is knowledge. This is what moves us into our nobility. It's not the easy road. It's the hard road. It's not things falling at our feet. It's things being fought for and bringing us to our knees and making us change. And so the Ten of Swords is like, our minds have changed. We're not the same person that we were. We do not see it the same. And it moves us then to, as we're traversing this new plane, as we start to see things more openly, more honestly, as we have these gifts come in and the doubt comes, and we think, can I do this? And we look at our poverty that we have been through, that we have had to overcome, and we start to see ourselves differently. We start to see ourselves not as fallen heroes, or maybe not even heroes at all, but those who have fallen. We start to see ourselves as those who have been through the ringer, been through the mill. And now there's a new future at the other side. There's a new passion, there's a new beauty, there's a new desire. There's a new way forward. The Three of Wands is like, oh, this is what I was waiting for. This is what I needed to see. This is what I needed to come into my life. This is how I needed to start looking at things. It's like one little thing starts to come in. It's like, oh, I see it. I understand it. It doesn't have to be big. It can also be like, I really don't want to do this anymore. I really don't want to be here. I really don't want to be like this. I can't stand being so angry. I can't stand being so sad. And all of a sudden, because we've named it, and we forget the power of naming things. If we look at stories, fables, myths, legends, naming things had importance to them. If we start naming what is holding us back, the fear, the anger, the despair, we start seeing ourselves being able to confront it, being able to have power over it. Or, we might not be ready at that time. It's like, okay, I see you. I see you and I've named you. So I've taken away a bit of the fear, a bit of the terror that is associated with you. And now we start, again, to see our ships come in. We start to see the horizon open up. And it leads us to looking at our dreams, our desires. What is it that we want? We might only be able to take one thing at this time and say, this is what I want to focus on. But this is saying that if we have dreams, and we've had them for quite some time, but we've thought, they're just not going to happen anymore. The time's passed. Now, if it's like being an astronaut, which was my personal dream in kindergarten, you might be like, okay, well, that time has passed and it wasn't really a good fit. But if it is that dream that gets to be, that has been a part of your heart and your soul, and gets to be a part of your very blood, that is something we need to start bringing forward. Not keeping it locked away, keeping it safe from the judgment of the world, but bringing it forward in beauty and in power. And that's what this time is about. Calling on that beauty and that power, knowing that there are gifts that are coming in, knowing that there is this profound connection to more. And let's see what our spirit guide message is. Scorpio. It's abundance. It is abundance. There's abundance here. There is a payoff. There is a sense of more coming forward. And people might say, well, okay, there's poverty. And all I see is this poverty here. Yeah, I can get that. I can get how that can be all that we focus on. I can get how life can get to be so hard and so overwhelming that just pulling ourselves out of bed is the greatest challenge that we face. Let alone having the rest of the day come forward. Having to do everything that is needed. What we're called on to look at during this time is little sparks of abundance. Little sparks of a dream that will not die. And the power that we have within ourselves to move us forward. To take despair and not let it be our reality. There's a payoff here. It might come out, it might start off very small. It might start off where, oh my gosh, I have to do something that I really don't want to do, and it's overwhelming, and I doubt it, and I fear it, and oh my goodness, take the jump. This is a time to take the jump. This is a time where we're going to self-sabotage, like crazy at times. We just are, because it's scary and it's overwhelming. But if we hold on to the abundance of ourselves, to the power of our dreams, all of a sudden, things start to open. We start to open to this world. It brings us then, there, to our spirit animal message for Scorpio. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. And it's the eagle spirit. Spirit has your back, and spirit does. A lot of times we don't think about it, but that's often because we think we have to stand alone in this world, just completely and utterly alone. The eagle spirit is saying, I have your back. It's time to soar. It's time to leave behind the sorrow and start embracing something more, something beautiful. Our subconscious spirit animal message is the hummingbird spirit. Be here now. Be in the present. Be in this moment. Be here now. And know that that's all we have. We can plan for the future, yes, and that's lovely. And that's important too. But be here now. Be who we are. And own it. Even if where we are, we think, God, I don't want to be here. Like, I just can't do this anymore. Being in the moment, and then just being able to see that power solidify over our hearts, because we know we're changing things, because we know we're embracing that warrior. We have spirit at our back, and we're embracing that warrior, Knight of Swords, to go after what we desire. The subconscious spirit guide message is imagine. It's time to use our imagination, to break ourselves out of the rut, to start moving forward, to see what before was unimaginable. It brings us to our subconscious chakra message, which is clarity, the third eye chakra. Things are becoming clear. Our eyes are opening. And it's seen so profoundly with the High Priestess. It's like our eyes are opening, things are becoming clear, it's more intense than we thought it was going to be. And there's a real sense of power and determination guiding us. And so the clarity comes in, and the clarity can be astoundingly overwhelming because we're seeing so much more than we've ever wanted to see, than we ever thought we would be understanding. And now is the time to take in that clarity, because messages are going to come to us, realizations are going to come to us that start setting us down a different path. It moves us to our subconscious person message, which is the King of Swords. We have to be very, very mindful during this time not to become coldly logical and say, boil it all down to logic. We will also come up against people during this time who want to boil it all down to logic. Boil it all down, see what is right there, see how it can be conquered. If it can't be conquered, move on. And that isn't going to be how we want to live our lives, especially right now. It's not about conquering. It's about, gaining an understanding from it, learning the wisdom to it, embracing it as part of our souls and ourselves. So just be mindful there. Our subconscious tarot message is the Queen of Cups, is us coming through as a queen, loving, caring, nurturing, embracing our souls and what we desire and how we want to move forward, and really, really connecting. This is a time where if we let ourselves be brave enough to feel this deeply, just through emotions, we can change our world. Just through the understanding of our hearts, we can become this focus, this power that is extraordinary. And people aren't going to be able to replicate it. They're also going to have a really hard time naming it, because it simply comes from the power of the heart, the power of where we stand, and the power of who we are. All right, Scorpio. I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I'm sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all, and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy as we move towards the more, as we move towards greater insights, greater understandings, and more profound truths. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Scorpio.